Hey, I'm at the gym and I just finished training in the morning. I was thinking about this thing that happened yesterday. So there's this young kid at the gym. He's Western and he does not want to do Muay Thai. He doesn't like Muay Thai, but his dad wants him to do it. So his way of protesting is to kind of just like fall apart anytime he has to do anything. And I don't know, he's like kind of a sensitive kid. Like I kind of feel bad for him because he doesn't really want to do it, but he's also like at that age where he just kind of crumples at everything and it's not entirely a protest. Like it's really a difficult energy to have in the gym. But so in his last fight, which was like 5 days ago or something like that, he got knocked out in 30 seconds because he basically just didn't want to fight and fell on the floor. And he gets really emotional and kind of flaily when he has to spar with kids in the gym and stuff like that. So all of that is background of like how this kid is just not anything. He's like a total muppet. Yesterday they put him against another Western kid who has been coming here for a couple of years, but he's not here all the time. Like he comes here for maybe a month or two at a time. He lives somewhere else and comes here pretty frequently. So they were sparring each other, and the one who I was talking about before, who's a total muppet, actually overwhelmed and technically knocked out, not physically, but just kind of overwhelmed with energy and emotion, so that this kid ended up quitting the kid who just came back, who's a little bit bigger than him actually. And it was kind of this amazing moment where like this kid is like the bottom dog of the gym, like really, really hardcore. But then this kid who hasn't been training comes in and loses by knockout. This other kid has never ever won a fight. So we were all laughing and joking and saying this was the first fight that he won, and we gave him a you know, belly pad as like a championship belt and stuff like that, because that's how gyms go. But it made me realize the importance of contact, and the older brother of this kid is kind of similar, like just not a tough kid by any means, but he kind of was floundering at the gym as like the lowest rung on the ladder for a really long time. But then you introduce a new kid or something like that who isn't used to the contact, and all of a sudden this kid is like badass. And so it's just exposure to that kind of contact. You know, when you're in the gym every day doing things, you can be the bottom dog for a really, really long time because it's just the context of who you're training with. But then when you introduce a new element or go to a fight or something like that kind of exposure and contact makes a difference. It hardens you, whether you can see it with your training partners or not. And I think that was really important for me to see, even at my current training levels and abilities and fight experience and stuff like that, is that I'm overwhelmed by a lot of my training partners a lot of the time. I'm the smallest. I have less experience than a lot of these kids still. And so I can lose a lot in the gym. But then when I go and am put in a different context, or if there's a new element brought in, all of a sudden all that work exposes itself, and it's actually really cool. Ramba's gym in particular, Ramba Samdet, M16, he trains his kids really, really hard. And you'll see him cry, you'll see like all of this stuff that you know it's making them really tough, but you don't really, really see it until they go and they fight, and they're just the toughest kids. So if you in your gym are struggling, you're the bottom dog, all of this stuff, just having that exposure and that contact is building you, and it's doing really, really big things. And so that was important for me to see in the gym yesterday, and we were all really proud of that kid because he's such a muppet most of the time. So I think it sparked his confidence a little bit, and we'll see what happens today, if he's hitting the bag any harder, or maybe slightly excited to fight or anything like that. Maybe there's a fighter in him anyway once he's tasted it, who knows. But yeah, that was the experience from yesterday, and maybe write a blog post about it. Talk to you guys later.